Welcome back to the Road to National series. In today's episode, I'm going to take you through an upper max workout. So my variation for this week was a light banded board press. As I've mentioned in the last few videos, I'm trying to work on my board press and my top end strength just so that I'm used to very heavy weights and I'm used to locking out very heavy weights, and then that should carry over back to my regular bench press so that as soon as I can get the bar 3 inches off my chest, which is what this board is, I feel confident pressing to lockout. So here I managed to hit 150 kilos with the 20 kilos of band tension. I was very happy with that. Not much more to say. Moving on to the accessories. So the first accessory here was overhead Swiss bar tricep extensions, and I said in the last video that I did these at 60 kilos. I managed to get sets of 8. I said in this next workout I'll try and go for a set of 10, and I successfully managed to do that in this workout, so I was happy with that. I think I got a set of 10 on this first set, but on the second set, obviously, I have some fatigue from the board pressing and from the first set, so I only managed to get a set of 9. But that is fine. That means I'm training to failure. Obviously, I was trying to go for the set of 10. Now, it might not look like failure on this exercise. The reason is, if I know I'm not going to be able to get another rep, it's not like when I do something like a chest press. On a chest press, I can do half reps and I'm safe. If I can't get the weight back up on this exercise, it's like going to fold me over backwards with my arms in a really awkward position, could sort of injure my shoulders or something. So you sort of have to just do as many full reps as you can. And for me, that was only 9 on that second set, but very happy with that first accessory. So the next accessory here is close, slightly pronated mag grip lat pull downs. Doing these for 220 pounds, and I think I got a set of 12 on this first set. Now, I definitely used some body momentum. Maybe it was just a set of 10, and the last few reps there are literally just partials, but a massive improvement. If you followed the channel at all, I've been speaking recently about my huge improvement to my lat pull downs. It was pretty much stagnated like 160 pounds for sets of 10 to 12, and now here I'm doing 220 pounds, so I am significantly stronger than I was. And then on this second set, I'm using a drop set pin. So if you look at the weight stack, you could see that pin just sticking out, and right now, bang, it shoots out. Drop set pins are fantastic for upping the intensity, and like you can see here, I was running out of reps. I don't think I could have done any more at 220 pounds, so now it jumps down to 120 pounds and I can crank out more reps. So great for an intensity and volume builder, just getting way more blood into the muscles. And they were really the reps that burned. When the weight's really heavy, you sort of just struggle to move the weight. It doesn't create a burn, but when you do a drop set, you get the best of both worlds. You get to move heavy weight, and then when you can't move anymore, you drop the weight down and it starts to burn. So they went great. Next accessory here was dumbbell chest flies. Now, I haven't done these in years. I don't know why I haven't been doing them. They're a great chest builder, and here the stretch I was feeling on my chest, particularly where it sort of inserts up onto your arm, the top portion near your front delt, was crazy. I was getting a huge stretch on the chest, and I definitely think this is a great variation for me to include in my chest accessories. I've been doing a lot more pressing for the chest. I've done the machine presses a lot on my machine, and I've done some dumbbell presses, but I hadn't done any flies, and I think the flies hit a huge fantastic stretch. And then here I also do superset them with presses just to help burn out the chest, and it creates, yeah, like I say, a massive burn in the chest. So these went well. I'm also wanting to build up the weight on these. I think that will have a great carryover into my chest strength. So when I bench, I actually use quite a narrow grip on the bench. And the reason is because I did a close grip bench press, and it's basically matched my regular bench press now. And the reason for that is my triceps are so much more dominant than my chest. And this exercise here is a great isolated chest exercise. And although it might not seem directly relevant to the bench press, I think whenever you can build up any accessory, any isolation accessory on a muscle, it is going to have carryover to your main lift. So if I can do these with like 30 kilo dumbbells at some point later on, or even build it to ridiculous levels of sort of 40, 50 kilos in years to come, that is miles away, by the way. I'm not going to do that anytime soon. But I do think that will help build a huge, strong chest, and it will carry over to the bench. So the next accessory here is the Lou raises. Now I did these at 15 kilos, which is the heaviest I've ever done. I have literally not been able to do these for even a single rep. So even the few workouts that I've done them so far, I've managed to build the strength in them and just get used to the movement enough to be able to use the 15s, albeit only for 4 reps there. So I did do a drop set and use the 10 kilo dumbbells as well, because I think four reps is a little low for an exercise like this, and I wanted to really burn the shoulders out. If you're not familiar with this exercise, it was popularized or sort of invented by Chinese weightlifter and probably the goat of weightlifting, Liu Xiaojun, and he did it with Olympic plates, but I think that was just because he was an Olympic weightlifter and they didn't have dumbbells on hand, they just had plates on hand. But it is an amazing exercise. It is basically a significantly better version of the like side lateral or lateral raise. And the reason is because your delt can contract so much more into this top position. And then at the top, you still have the weight sort of resting down. It's almost like the top position of a shoulder press. So going through this full range of motion right there, it is my delt that is failing, that's holding me back. And you end up getting a huge pump. I find that the traps and upper back get involved a little bit, but it is definitely the delt fatiguing, which is what limits you on this exercise, versus normally when I just do side laterals, often my traps pump up as much as the delts, and they can actually be the limiting factor. It turns into sort of a trap exercise. So I still do side laterals like this just to burn out the delts even more at the end, and I literally didn't know where to put my arms there. The delts were screaming that much. But the main thing is that it does target those delts and make sure that they're fatiguing. So I'm pretty much never going to go back to regular side laterals, except from if it's like on a machine or something where it properly isolates them. With the dumbbells, I think the Lou raises is a much better alternative. So coming into the penultimate accessory here, I did heavy preacher bicep curls using the bench. Now, I've done these before with this weight and only managed to get 4 reps. So on this first set, I managed to get 5 reps on each arm. And after the first time I did it with the 4 reps, the weight felt significantly more difficult that time. And I was unable to do a second set. I think I dropped the weight for the second set to 20 kilos last time, because the 4 reps felt so difficult. However, today it felt manageable. That doesn't look manageable. It looks very difficult, and they definitely were challenging. It's sort of a weird exercise, this, but I feel like it's building up the strength in the biceps massively, and that's just something I want to build up. I'm also wanting to build up the arms in general. I think that still just carries over to being like a strong human being. And my first ever strength competition was a strongman competition, and I might go back to strongman, and biceps are used in so many strongman events. So that was an absolute grind of a rep. So I only got 4 reps on that right arm on this second set because that was such a grinder of a rep. And I think that's because I fully extended my arm, and that just takes all your power out. So if you're looking at all the other reps I do, I don't quite lock out my arm. Otherwise, it would literally just be so much more difficult to get the weight up. So I do manage to get a set of 5 on this left side, even though I'd only got a set of 4 on the right side for the second set. But yeah, these exercises are great in general, and I love doing the preacher version because it isolates the biceps so much, and it means that it is doing all of the work. And the delts, after I've done the fatiguing work, I normally find even just doing dumbbell curls can be fatiguing, trying to stabilize with the delts. So The last exercise here, instead of doing abs this workout, I decided to work on grip a bit. So I did 150 kilo holds. Now I thought I'd done 10 seconds on that first set, but it was nowhere near. And then this set, I just had nothing in the tank, but the grip was nice and fatigued there. So that is it for today's video. I hope you did in fact enjoy the video. If you did, drop it a like, drop it a comment, subscribe, click the bell, all of that good stuff, and have a great day.